public. Ours is to represent you, convert into a bill, and you are going to be the one that will decide if it's actually worth the while or not.
Okay, I get that.
My committee went on various retreats, and yes. So the issue is there's nothing new in the bill. We are removing it from the Electoral Act and make it in a standalone. So all the offenses in the Electoral Act are there. It's just being removed from the Electoral Act and make it a standalone that is not longer going to be the function of INEC to do. There's going to be a body on its own that is going to handle electoral offenses.
Yeah,
so
I'm going to ask you.
That's just what this bill
yes,
is about.
Yeah,
it's unbundling INEC. Part of the things INEC has been doing.
Yes, I understand you, and I want you to land on that thought as well. So my questions are literally the same in this particular direction. So perhaps we are saying that the reason why we will catch the small fries who are the ones distributing this money and all of that, just a few INEC officials, because INEC is busy with too many things. So now we are unbundling this so that we can catch everybody who is involved. I can't remember any time in the last 24 years or 25 years of this democracy when a top person in government who won an election, maybe a senator, a member of the House of Reps, I think it's just one, I think in River State or so, I don't know how that even went, that is really brought to book. Because there are people that sponsor these people. That is my question. How can this streamlining help us to catch the big boys who are funding malpractice in our electoral process? That's my question.
You see, you think we can legislate everything. The process, there are some parts of these laws that we cannot, our activities that we cannot legislate. If you talk about catching someone, number one, someone must report. Someone must report the activities. These are part of the issues. There must be a lot of public and education for us to know what are going to be electoral offenses. In fact, in that area, during the public hearing, there will be a lot of debates because there are a lot of offenses written in the act, in the bill, that even if I should lift you on the day of election with my own private vehicle, is an electoral offense. So there are so many provisions of the law that has been taken care. Like I said, all these things are not new. At least you are aware of what happened in Ogun State. One of the gubernatorial candidates was arrested and prosecuted for distributing recharge card on the day of election. This is because someone reported. That's what why it was able to be prosecuted. So in ensuring that you catch people, is going to be see something, say something. Those are the area of education that has to go in place. But in terms of the laws have been perfect in terms of prosecuting offenders. But what we are saying now is, okay, we are not going to let this be a body to INEC again. Let it stand alone. But there should be a lot of education in addressing our people to let people know that these are the offenses. Because most of these things can be in the books, but our people are aware of them. It is our responsibility now, this time around, under this 10th Assembly, the mandate of Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, is to ensure that we give the Electoral Act that is going to ensure fairness and inclusive electoral process. So the process is not just about the law now, it's about us ensuring that everything written in the law is at least practiced to the letter. So what we need more is about public education. But like I said, ours is to go along with the public. What do you want? We want Electoral Offenses Commission. We are going to go to the public hearing. It is the responsibility of the public now to now say we want this to stay or not. So the provisions have been the same in terms of what we have in the Act already. The types of offenses that we have, we all know. You should not carry, you have a limited amount of money you must have on you on the day of election. You should not influence any voters by inducing them, either buying things for them. And there are a lot of areas that we overlook. all this one that will be cooking food on the day of election, sharing food on the day of election, they are electoral offenses. They've been there. We are not just putting it.
So does this law, Honorable, just a moment.
Distributing so many things,
I know, for the purpose of, let's do a refresher, because these laws already exist. So, and that's why I'm very deliberate with where I'm going with the question, because when it comes to election, the desperate people are not the citizens. They are politicians like you and everybody who is running for office. It is not citizens. I am a journalist, and my job is to observe and cover and report what is going on. INEC's job is to manage the election. The security agency's job is to make sure everywhere is in order. The biggest desperation is coming, or always comes, from the political class. And so whatever this law or this unbundling, let's not say law because it's already there, whatever this unbundling has to do, and that efficiency doesn't include catching the people that, quote and unquote, we suspect to be the ones that will be most desperate to do whatever it takes to win an election. Can we say the unbundling is effective?
You see, on the day of election, I, as a politician or a contestant on that day, will be in my unit. And you forget one thing, when it comes to election, many people have many reasons for even supporting a candidate. Because some people, their businesses, their survival or whatever, they might feel depends on a particular person winning. And so on their own, they want to prove that I am in charge of this constituency or in charge of this booth. So the issue is like, by the time everybody knows that whatever you do, you are on your own. So it's for us, like I said, it's more about voters' education now. It is, if I that I'm contesting, I'm in my booth, and I'm doing what I could in terms of the services I give to my community to ensure that I have followers. And you sit somewhere and you think the only way you can help me is to go around sharing money on the day of election. Then it's going to be your offense. Because the law says the person caught doing so exercise. So unless you feel you can prove that so person sent you and this are proofs, so there must be vicarious liability established to say that. But you know, the journalists, you know, you have your way of always attacking the politicians. Yeah, it's the politician that did this, that did that. But you know that everybody have their own reason within their own constituencies. If, for example, under my constituency, I have local government, I have wards. Within those wards, there are people who want to contest as councillors. So that person on his own has the reason where he wants to ensure that a party wins within his own constituency, in smaller constituency. So will you now say that whatever a councillor does was initiated by maybe the chairman or House of Assembly or House of Rep member? But let's leave whoever you assume is causing it. The issue is you should not do this. Let the person who is doing it know that it is an offense. You see, like I said, when I even went through myself, because during the last dispensation, I was not part of the Committee on Electoral Matters. But now that I'm the chairman of the Committee on Electoral Matters, and I went through the Electoral Act and the offenses. In fact, carrying someone on that day is an offense. Sharing food on that day is an offense. There are so many offenses we don't even know. And if people don't even know, then how do you even tell them that it's wrong? You catch some people doing some things and they'll tell you, yes, it's normal. So there's going to be a lot of education this time around. That's why this time around it's going to be a different ball game. Our people are ignorant of so many things. You saw during the last election, people were even killing cows, doing barbecue at the polling booths, sharing drinks at the polling booths.
Well, I don't know, Honorable, I don't know how that...
So those are areas, that's why I said...
Yes, Honorable, I don't know how that is a very confusing and controversial part, because some people are sharing not because they want to influence you. Sometimes you stay in that area for hours, God knows how long those hours are. I just want to entertain yourselves. So, you buy your drinks and all of that. But you are saying it's an offense.
It's about the law.
Yes,
just so it's about you.
What I'm saying is that journalists are not, I think politicians like you and the rest need to get this one, maybe just get it straight. Journalists are not against politicians. Our job is to hold you to account. You're a human being, you have exposure to our resources, our commonwealth. And it is only human for some people to want to pilfer into these resources. Our job is to beam that satellite on you and everybody who is involved in that practice. So if that is being enemy of the politicians, that's unfortunate. We're just doing our job. I just need to put that disclaimer on behalf of myself and my colleagues. We're just checking the system. But moving forward, since you're the chairman of that committee, let's talk about one other part that is not part of these electoral offenses. Appointment of INEC chairman and all the commission. It has been a very difficult issue for a long time. Justice Uwais has made some recommendation. Now you're in charge of that committee, and you're a lawmaker generally at the end of the day. Don't you think it's time for us to zoom into that as well? Because the president, by December this year, is it before December? Because Professor Mahmoud will be leaving office in December also, is going to appoint him, appoint another person. Isn't it time for us to look at that critically, to build confidence in the people across party lines, that no one person can just decide and appoint anybody, and we have to live with it whether we like it or not?
It's not just one person. The president recommends names to the National Assembly that are representing 109 senatorial districts in the country. And these are the people representing every one of us. It cut across all parties. So when the names are presented to the National Assembly, it is the responsibility of the National Assembly to scrutinize these names. And if they are found wanting, the names will be rejected. And you've seen that happening several times. And the president might have no choice than to replace such nominees. So, but there is no way. Let me actually, if I tell you today, give us a formula or a process that you think we can use before we leave this station. If you leave your lines open, 1,001 people will criticize whichever way you decide. Some people say you should leave it to NJC.
Honorable, but Justice Uwais, I think, has made that proposal in his report. We already have one recommendation by that Uwais report.
Justice Uwais is just a person. Excuse me.
It's a committee. It's not Uwais. It's a committee that made a recommendation. He just chaired the committee.
Yes, I know. It's commission. Yes, they are all part. We've had several other committees. Ongoing, we are doing the electoral reform. We've invited a lot of people to bring in their inputs. What we are saying is there is no way that you can have a perfect system. But we have it on, it's on the burner when we go for public hearing. We will listen to the people. The issue you are talking about is also on the burner. We are taking into it has also passed second reading. So it's going for public hearing. You see, as lawmakers, our job is not to enforce a law on the people. Our job is to midwife and be the umpire. At the end of the day, what Nigeria wants is what we report back on our report that will go for third reading, and then eventually eventual consideration of the bill. So what we are trying to do this time around is to educate the public. I'm emphasizing the issue of education. We need to educate the people to know that any law is their responsibility to ensure that they look at it properly and give their own input. Look at what happened in the tax bill. It has never been like that in the history of Nigeria. During the second reading, people raised a lot of issues. And we have to go and refine, redefine. Even we started public hearing before the public hearing. And at the end of the day, it passed. After going for public hearing, there were also some other amendments. So that's what we are saying. Electoral Offences Commission bill is just a bill. It's Nigeria that will say we want it or we don't want it. It's not my own initiative. It's the outcome of discussion with the people. Look, there are some people who believe, like you rightly said, do we need another agency? Do we need another commission?
Yes, that's a question.
But what are the problems that we have even now in prosecuting offenders? What are the problems? One major problem is after every election, all the people that complain, all the arrests that were made, you don't find the police officers who are supposed to come and give evidences to come back. Probably the person was posted from Kaduna to Lagos during the election and has been taken back to Kaduna. And when prosecution starts, how do you ensure that such a person will be able to come back every time and give evidences? So these are other issues. It's not just about removing it as a body. There are other issues. But like I said, we are the umpires. In the process of making law is that we go through this process. There must be first reading, second reading, go for public hearing. The public will say we want it or we don't want it. I can't say we must have it.
All right, Honorable. You know, this is, I consider this an ongoing conversation. The issue around whether it's necessary or not, the issue around efficiency and effectiveness, the issue around whether it can catch, for me, the big boys, some of who sponsor these things, not just the small fries, all of that, I think is going to be part of the conversation at a public hearing.
You have fixated. You see, one major issue is that you also fixated. You are expecting some politicians to be caught.
Yes, I do. Yes, Honorable, I'm going to admit that. I expect big politicians to be caught. Yes. No, I'm not shying away. Every Nigerian wants a big politician to be caught.
You see, on the day of election, let me tell you something. There are
no two ways about it. We would like them to be caught.
Politician is doing well.
It will build confidence in the system.
And some people, no, wait, what I'm saying is, hello, let's, you see, we shouldn't be fixated. You see, the issue is, let's have a system. Let's have the laws. Let people be educated. Then they will be able to now know the right step to take. In Nigeria today, I can tell you, with beavers, every politician now knows that if you don't perform, you are in trouble. The fear of beavers is the beginning of wisdom.
All right, I think that's a good place. That's a fine place to anchor.
This is no longer the time where you can do this.
Just land on your thought. 10 seconds. Land on that thought. 10 seconds.
Okay. Oh, yes, that's I said. The fear of the beavers is the beginning of wisdom. So everybody now knows that if you don't perform, you cannot expect the people to vote for you. And there's no way you can influence vote anyhow nowadays.
All right. Thank you, Honorable. Thank you so much for coming on the program. As you said, we're going to go for the public hearing and hear all of this. Honorable Adebayo Balogun, a member, a member of the House of Representatives.
Before you go, let me give
we're totally out of time. We're totally out of time.
Hello?
Yes, we're totally out of time.
Yes, just 1 minute, just 10 seconds.
Yes.
I want you to, 1 second. Please, help us educate the people. Whenever public hearing is going on, please help us tell people to always attend and come up with position. That's the only way we can have very effective laws.
They are all listening. They are all listening. Everybody's interest is the same, to make Nigeria a better place. Thank you, Honorable Adebayo Balogun, member of the House of Reps. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right, yes, for the record, I want the big politicians to be caught, just like you. I'm sure you agree with me on that. And that's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. Good night.